Welcome to this week's Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Conditions Report here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm with six-time champion and the man from Dunlop, Brock Over. Brock, we got a chance to walk the whoops, and the first thing you said is I'm glad I don't race anymore.
It's hard to tell from the stands how big these are. You know, you sit up in the stands and you go, yeah, these are big whoops. You've heard how big they are. But we actually, stood, I was in the bottom, you were at the top, and I was looking straight up at you. And I don't think the average fan, even though they might, or the average racer might race a local race with some whoops in it or a track with some whoops in it. But when I walk through this stuff, I still just marvels that a motorcycle can get through this as fast as they can. But they're tough.
Well, we were talking about if we had a 21-inch front tire and we set down in there, the whoop is still going to be taller than that tire.
Absolutely. It would easily engulf the entire 21-inch front tire, and that's why it's important that these riders, they commit to it. They make that moment of coming into the whoops where they just have to commit fully and then get on the gas to get up on top of these, or at least try not to drop all the way down to the bottom of them, because if they do, that's when you see the crashes happen. But they set their suspension up that way, they set their bikes up that way, and they practice a whole lot. But it's amazing that they get through these.
Something else they added to the dome here, we have the Mercedes-Benz dome, the Georgia red clay, but they added the sand section just after the over and under bridge, and that's always exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting too, and it's a right-hander, and it's a complete clover leaf. And the last time I remember seeing a section like this was last year at the Glendale Stadium, and it really worked out well. So I'm excited to see it come off the finish line, and they're going to go right into that big sandy corner. So hopefully multiple lines develop, and you're going to see some passing in there if someone makes a mistake.
You talk about those multiple lines there. I saw in press day, you got to remember, this is the showdown between the 250 East and the 250 West. We have two of them this year. This is the first one, Vegas being the final one, but a lot of guys on the track, and I saw a lot of ruts starting to develop in some of those 180 turns.
Yeah, usually press day usually doesn't have, it's kind of a limited field, but today with the East-West shootout, you had a lot of the top riders out there, a lot of bikes, and we did see a lot of lines develop, and I think that's a good thing. I just hope it doesn't rut up too much, but you have to remember when they do develop ruts and the main fast line gets kind of beat up, people tend to move around, and then it develops more options and you see more passing. So it's going to be exciting with that East-West shootout.
And the start here in Atlanta, it's a pretty nice starting line. I've looked at it, I've walked it, and it's very safe first turn, I think.
I'm personally a big fan of having a longer start, help separate it, especially once we went to that graded starting area. The bikes used to, the rut was important before, and riders sometimes didn't have the greatest rut when they came off the gate. Maybe the rut didn't work out so well for them, and they might have gotten a split second behind the other rider. Now when it's all dead even like that, when they're 2 or 3, 4 bike lengths out ahead, and it's almost everybody's still bar to bar. So longer start does help separate a little bit. You hate to see any of the contenders or anybody in general go down in the first corner. I don't like to see the crashes. You want to see the racing take place, and you don't want to see people eliminated by a first turn pileup. So longer starts are certainly something I favor, and this one has a nice, fairly long one, and I think it's going to be good.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Atlanta's going to be a great one here. That's it for your Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Conditions Report here in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, Georgia.